Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All right, Thursday, all of our guests today brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. Giants just announced their home opener Friday, September 20th against Seattle, 7 p.m. Season ticket packages now on sale. All season ticket packages now include access to WHL Live, so you never miss a game, as well as the first 2 home playoff games, plus flexible payment plans available with no additional cost. For more info, email sales at vancouvergiants.com or call 604 for Giants. Lions lose to Toronto in Toronto on a Sunday. They played their home opener Saturday, 50 Cent concert kickoff at BC Place. Here to talk about that and more from TSN, Farhan Lalji. Thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I am excited. 48 hours away from Philly. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, sure. You tell me. I'm 900 years old. I have no idea. Although,
hey, wait a minute. That's my line for you. You don't get to say it yourself. It's not as much fun that way.
No, I think you say 1,000 years old. So Ryan just asked you a question off the air that I'll ask you on the air. Are you going to get a chance to talk to Fitty?
I think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up on our panel at some point. Maybe that's where he joins the TSN broadcast. But I think he'd get involved. I wouldn't mind talking to him and just asking him about music and other things. So see what he thinks of Canadian football. Should be fun.
Yeah, I guess I can believe, but the reaction of the players up in Kamloops when they found out he was coming was something else.
Yeah, and I think the players are probably a little disappointed they're not going to get to watch the concert, because there's going to be about an hour from the time the players finish warm-up, go inside, and then come back out. And so they'll have their time. They'll have the concert, and the players will still have some time to kind of additionally warm up when they come back out. But I think Rick Campbell's going to want them. But I've seen it before where you look down to the locker room and you see a few guys just kind of sneaking out and trickling and getting a peek, and it'll be easier for them because normally the concert's at the other side of the stadium, right? Because they kind of attach it to that east entrance and the seating around there. Whereas now it's going to be a little bit more, might not be right at the 50, but it'll be a little bit more centered. So it'll be even easier for the players to see if they manage to sneak their head out the door.
Yeah, we had Amar Doman on earlier, and he talked about how the stage has been moved, so that's possible. Hey, Farhan, what do you think these concert kickoffs have done?
Hang on, wait. Has he convinced Rick to come yet?
Oh, I think Rick is going, and there's another story to that we can't get into.
Too many layers there. Too many layers.
Yeah, it would take it would take 15 or 20 minutes. But what do you think these concert kickoffs? There's been 3 of them now, orchestrated by Amar Doman. What do you think they've done for not just the league, but not just the Lions, but the league?
Well, the whole league is watching, right?
Yeah.
And when you talk to players around the league, they are envious of BC ownership, right? And certainly, Montreal's now got a really good owner, and they're happy there. But around the league, people are looking here, and they see this, and they see the commitment to it. And that does matter. I think it's a level of credibility for the entire league. Just like when Messi kind of was supposed to show up but didn't. But listen, and I'm not taking a shot at the Whitecaps. Just Messi being in the league, like Beckham being in the league, is a good thing for MLS. Just having an association with this level of entertainer is a good thing for the CFL. Taylor Swift is a good thing for the NFL, right? Like, that's just the way it is. So I think that it's good for the Lions because it's going to expose 30,000 additional fans, right? Like, let's say the home opener was a completely full lower bowl and they had 24 or 25,000. They're going to more than double that. So if you wind up, and I'm not here to be Amar Doman's accountant, but if you see the lowest ticket price, the average ticket price of those seats is around $60 a ticket for the additional 25 to 30,000, that's like $1.8 million, right? So you have to believe they're making a little bit of money despite what it's going to cost them to get 50 Cent here and promote it and do all of that. But it's good for the organization. You have to believe that some of those people who watch the game that maybe haven't come to a Lions game in 10 years or 15 years might be encouraged to come back. So it's going to add to their attendance throughout the year. It's going to be, credibility. And then listen, the day this was announced, the Lions said the lower bowl sold, which meant that fans were already looking forward to this game, right? And so that in itself is a cool thing, that now maybe next year they leverage it in with the season ticket package and it increases that. So I think it's a great thing short term and long term.
Hey, Farhan, let's go to the Lions-Argos game. The offensive line, I mean, it looked like Vernon Adams was running for his life, mostly in the second half. There were six sacks, but I think 5 were in the second half. How can they improve that O-line? Like, something's got to give there.
Well, first of all, I'm really disappointed that you're being so negative. I would think that you are cheering for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You're so negative about this BC Lion team right now.
Just answer the question.
But you make a good point, Rick. And the Lions improved, or at least had some change in a number of areas. Some forced, some intentional, but they didn't improve the offensive line. And if you saw at the end of the year, this line needed improvement, and the rest of the roster has improved enough to provide them with a little more flexibility to maybe add an American on the offensive line. And they didn't, and they put David Neville out there. And he wasn't the only problem, but he certainly was the biggest problem. So I would hope that Chris Schluger is going to get an opportunity to play at left guard this weekend. I don't know that that's the case, but he's a guy that's been there since last year. More of a backup tackle, but potentially a guy who could give them some sort of an upgraded guard. So I hope they do. Curious to see what happens at the center spot with Michael Couture. We don't know if he's going to play this week or not. Does that mean that Andrew Pearson gets put back into the lineup as the starting center this week? I don't know, but it's got to start there. Now, look, Toronto's offensive line or defense, both lines, their O-line and their D-line are really, really good. I think their O-line is the best in the league. Their D-line is probably in the top 2 in the league. So they're going to make it hard for a lot of teams. But if you're BC, you better have an answer for everybody. And they didn't have an answer in the second half. And Rick Campbell kind of dismissed it in his comments yesterday, saying late in the game when they knew we needed to throw. I think that's not accurate because it was never more than a 1-score game. So they were never in a desperate situation like that. And their O-line was a problem throughout the second half of this game, and it's going to continue to be a problem if they don't make some adjustments here.
Well, and look, when William Stanback was signed, I thought, here we go, a running game and 11 carries, 35 yards. So, they can't go year after year with those type of rushing numbers, can they?
No, they can't. And I think that they committed a little bit to it in the first half. I actually liked what I saw from Stanback and the running game in the first half, and they got away from it in the second half. And I just, again, I can't blame score effects for that because it was never more than a 1-score game. So I think they needed a bit more of that, especially as the O-line was struggling in pass protection. So they do need to find some ways. And I know that Jordan McSimic likes to push the ball down the field, likes to throw it. I know that some of the lack of commitment to a run game is the RPO game where the quarterback chooses to pull it and throw it. But they need to find a way to be a little bit more balanced than they have been, no doubt.
One hockey question here, Farhan. Are you a believer in Ilya Mikheyev? Can he bounce back? No. I mean, he won't be as bad as he was this year, right? Where there just wasn't enough there. And you have to believe that the knee is going to be healed that much more. But I just don't believe he's going to provide this team with $4.75 million worth of value. So I hope they don't have to attach an asset. If they need to retain, I think that might be a little more palatable in my mind, as opposed to a buyout, which then has 4 years worth of ramification to it. So I would hope that they, if they can, if it's a late round pick, okay, maybe, but I don't want to see them provide a meaningful asset to get out of this. Hopefully that retention will do it. But will he be better next year? Sure. But you don't pay $4.75 million. Remember when he was signed, the thought was that if we elevate him, he's trending up. And then Patrick Alvin says at the press conference at the end of the year, it's my fault that I put him in that role. Well, what do you mean? Like, you kind of talked about an elevated role for him when you paid him $4.75, and now you say he should be, essentially you imply that I should have been able to keep him in a bottom 6 role. But what are you paying a bottom 6 forward $4.75 million? Why are you doing that? So, it seems a little bit contradictory, but he's not going to give him $4.75 million worth of value. They need to find a way to move on. I think Patrick was being a hockey guy there and accepting blame. I think he knows the real story. Hey, Farhan, say hi to 50 for us. We'll be in the crowd, so we can't do it. Say hi to 50 for us.
I know that Rick's going to be in Amar's suite. That's how this is playing out.
Yeah.
I'll be there. It looks good for me to be there, but I don't know where I'm sitting yet.
I'll be top row, upper bowl with the
we'll
people.
Be in the
first row in front of the stage for Rick. That's what I know.
We'll be by the roof upstairs.
Okay, cleaning it. Thanks for this, Farhan.
Hey, guys.
Appreciate it.